live. We're there for you. ABC4 News at 10 starts now.
Welcome to ABC4 News at 10. I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores. We thank you for joining us here tonight. And tonight, major concern in our mountains. The Utah Avalanche Center warning avalanche danger is particularly high, adding the season even starting early this year. ABC4's Courtney Johns joining us live from the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon to explain why. Courtney?
Emily, Avalanche Awareness Week is always the first week in December, which is typically the beginning of avalanche season in Utah. But this year, we've been getting reports of avalanches since before Halloween. The Utah Avalanche Center says this is an unusual start to the season. We got lots of snow in October. November was dry and cold. And since last Monday, some areas have gotten almost 3 feet of snow.
It's tricky avalanche conditions because it's just different than what most backcountry users are used to seeing at this time of year.
The Avalanche Center says a lot of that snow is more of a sugary consistency underneath a very dense slab of snow. And normally you just see that kind of snow in the Northwest area, but they say it's everywhere now. That's why they say hosting classes during Avalanche Awareness Week is so important.
But honestly, getting out here and practicing, I feel like has given me a little bit more confidence with, how to actually put it into practice when I'm out in the backcountry.
And today's rescue practice is one of 25 events going on this week to educate people about avalanche safety. And we have a link to the full schedule on our website, abc4.com. Reporting live at the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon, Courtney Johns, ABC4 News.
Courtney, time now for a first look at the weather forecast. We're adding more layers of snow over the last couple of days.
Yes, we are. Forecaster Bob Bedore here with us, the latest of what's going on outside, Bob.
Well, the latest is finally calming down just a little bit from the snow we had during the day, but it's heading toward the south. In fact, our temperature's looking pretty good right now. It's 33 degrees outside. You can see no breeze, not much going on with our colonial flag camera there, as we see the flag just kind of hanging out. But what we're going to see with our satellite, everything is just blowing to the east and the storm making its way down south. We still have a winter alert going on, but let's show you what happened. Peggy Sorensen sent us this, and there was the snow this morning, and then from Woodland Hills it picked up in the afternoon. It went down, picked up, and then she showed us this later where she said that she got 11 inches of snow in Woodland Hills. That was the kind of storm that we had, 11 inches in the mountains, and there's still a winter alert going on. Now, this is where I told you that storm was heading down south into central Utah. We're going to have the winter weather advisory going on. We're going to see 2 to 6 inches in the central mountains there. Winter driving conditions, especially along I-15 throughout the night. So if you're going to be driving at night, please be careful because that's going to be a treacherous location to try to be doing that. In Deer Valley, taking a live look there, looking pretty good, but our temperatures, well, Garden City just decided to go away. But you can see that we are doing pretty good in our temperatures, 43 right now as we are in Kanab. Tonight's high temperatures looking pretty good. I'll tell you more about storms coming up. In fact, we got a big one coming this weekend in just a little bit. Glenn?
Thank you, Bob. A teen has pleaded guilty in that deadly shooting not far from Hunter High School in West Valley City earlier this year. 2 students were killed, a third injured. Court documents show the gunman, also a student, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of manslaughter and discharge of a firearm today. He'll be placed in a security facility until he turns 21.
And the trial underway in the death of a woman who was decapitated by a wind-blown gate at Arches National Park. That gate smashing into her car and killing her. The woman was a Ugandan women's activist, Esther Nakago. The U.S. already accepting responsibility for her wrongful death. The question now is how much will it be told to pay? Her family and husband are asking for $270 million.
I want them to learn the power of this girl, so that it can be amplified for many other girls across the world.
Jago, who you heard just from, adding, for the people of Uganda, the suit is also about the United States justice system. Arguments continue through the week. And we're also hearing from people tonight who knew a Utah Tech student who died Sunday morning.
We're told that Peyton Hall died after falling 5 stories from a campus housing building. Police are calling it a tragic accident and say they were on scene almost immediately after 911 calls came in. Before going to college, Hall was on the wrestling team at Bingham High School. We spoke to a former high school teammate who says he was always ready to have a good time.
He's always just like really energetic, and he was a goofball, but he had a lot of character. He was such a good friend. He's the only friend that ever like checked up on me as we've like, you know, gone to different schools.
Police do not believe drugs or alcohol were involved in Hall's death. Toxicology reports and the cause of death could take weeks to come in.
And the Boys and Girls Club of Northern Utah now calling Logan home with a new clubhouse aiming to improve the life of working class families in the area there. Now, this is the new club center on Main Street. It's the first in Cache County. Monday through Friday, kids from kindergarten through high school are welcome there. The Boys and Girls Club saying that kids who join the club often improve their grades and graduate high school and go to college at higher rates than peers without the program. They say it also benefits parents.
Parents are more likely to be successful at work because when they're not worried about where their kids are, then when they're at work, they can focus on work. They're more likely to get more training. They're more likely to succeed at work.
Even though the Logan location is brand new, Jeffrey says the Boys and Girls Club is planning to expand to 3 locations across the Cache Valley to meet the community's needs.
If you haven't finished up that Christmas shopping just yet, the Department of Wildlife Resources has a pitch for the outdoorsy types in your life. DWR reminds Utahns you can buy a hunting and fishing license for someone else. Whether that's for winter turkey season or even ice fishing, you can do so on the DWR website if you have the person's name, a physical description, age, and contact information. Temple Square draws a lot of attention, as we know, for its wonderful Christmas light display, and many remember when they were pulled because of the pandemic.
Yes, but our Craig Wirth says there are plenty of other Utah traditions that we look back on with fond memories. It's worth watching.
The old ZCMI candy windows were one of the traditions that started decades ago. How we used to go live in our news as Utah waited for the unveiling. This was when our legendary favorite, Nisha DeGaring, sent us to Main Street for that moment 25 years ago.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the unveiling of the holiday windows at ZCMI. This year's theme, fairy tales. The Snow Queen, Jack and the Beanstalk, Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Hansel and Gretel, and the Little Mermaid, all made with candy. Do you eat the candy?
I haven't sampled too much.
The candy windows continue with Macy's. The traditional Christmas parade did not march on in the festive March of Time. That downtown Salt Lake tradition lasted until 1990. Kids lined Main Street and they watched in awe. Of course, the main attraction was always at the end as Santa officially arrived for the season.
Merry Christmas, by golly!
Whether it was a crowd in this 1988 or a kid of the 1950s, it was the waiting for Santa in the parade. And Santa arrived by a fancy new car. Oh, there were no reindeer, but lots of horses. And in one really swell year, Santa arrived by airplane. Now that was cool. Well, actually, it was really cold that year. Now, if there was a specialty downtown, it was lots of greenery for the holidays as the theme year after year.
Well, Utah quickly embraced the idea of greens and garlands, and downtown was full of them.
Downtown was a showcase of greenery and garland. The city decked the halls of Main Street for years, and State Street also got a lot of fa-la-la-la-la. It really was a Christmas city, at least as far as greenery.
And at the center of it all was the big tree put up here every year in front of the Tribune building.
Each year, the selection of the special tree was front page news. Yes, sir, that's my baby. One guy in 1949 was so excited. The tree he once planted had become the tree of Salt Lake City. It was a big deal. They built viewing stands for the big tree lighting. And for the big event, the crowds packed the street. From Thanksgiving to Christmas, the tree was the icon of downtown. Oh, there was a lot of celebrating at the tree. People sang at the tree. It was a stop for every high school choir. Main Street, it was the place to go celebrate. The trees and all the garlands. It was all part of the early decorations of Utah, although some icons didn't quite catch on as much, such as the Disney-themed Christmas. Oh, nothing says Christmas like the big bad wolf and the 3 little pigs. The Tribune tree is gone, and the garlands don't cross downtown streets as they once did, except in memories. Craig Wirth, ABC 4 News.
We need to go back to singing by the tree.
Yes,
we could
we
use
do.
a little of that these days.
And you know what? I just love the garland across the streets, but we can't because of the trains, but it's
Right.
so sweet.
True.
And do you
Things
remember
have changed with tracks, right?
Yes, and the Macy's windows back in the day, those candy windows were just incredible.
Yeah, well, even
Today's are a bit different.
ZCMI before that.
Yes, we could keep going. All right. 'Tis the season for giving. The ABC4 News team is helping Toys for Tots gather donations to brighten up the holidays for children in need. If you're interested in taking part, you can do so. How? You can drop off new and unwrapped toys or gifts for toddlers to teens to any Papa Murphy's location or even right here at the ABC4 News station. This runs through December 18th.
Coming up on ABC4 News at 10, the clock is ticking on this congressional session, and some major issues still need to be taken care of. We'll show you the top priorities before lawmakers can wrap things up.
And still ahead, tens of thousands in darkness in North Carolina, and police say this was no accident, why they believe this was an act of sabotage.
Looking live from the Red Cliffs Lodge there. That sky is just beautiful with those blue-black clouds. We got an active weather week coming up. I'll tell you all about it in my forecast coming up after these messages.